Hermione von Glutz here. Hello everyone. It's that time of year again, isn't it? We've all eaten far too much. Drunk all that booze. Eaten all that chocolate. Now it's time to fight the flab. Let's go. And up and down. And up and down. What I really want to talk to you about today is exercising choice. Everything in life is a choice, isn't it? Hey? Another chocolate? No, no. Think of the belly. Another drink? Yeah, go on. Let's have another. Why not? It's the festive season. Work it. Come on, people. Let's go. Commit. You know you can do it. Come on. Everything in life is a choice. And I think right now, we all need to seriously consider our choices. Come on, people. Let's have a little think. What are our goals? What are our priorities? Where are we going this year? How can we be better people? It's all about choice. Hello, Reverend Grace here. Yes, it is me. Don't be alarmed. Had a spray tan yesterday. Life's always better with a tan, a bit of colour on your skin, I think. And lesson learned yesterday. Don't try to fashion. Well, I didn't have a shower cap type thing. And so she gave me a pair of those paper knickers, which I fashioned. Yeah, don't do that because you end up with a tan line. Hilarious. Anyway, welcome. Especially to my long-term subscribers, bless you. This has been a year now since I've been making these videos and you guys have been following me pretty much all the way. And to my new subscribers, oh my God, who'd have thought it? I don't put out videos to be controversial or any sort of great, but I just, that whole the flag thing and there's so much about Christianity at the minute and yeah, it just felt like a video to put out there and that tends to be how I do it. I just go by, you know, kind of like, universe, what should I be putting out there now? And yeah, so I hope my new subscribers, welcome. I hope you enjoy my content. There's one guy, and there were so many comments on the last video, I couldn't quite keep up with it all, so apologies to people. Also, then it wouldn't show me the ones that were very first, which I know I didn't reply to some of you, so sorry about that, guys. I haven't really had the time as well in the busyness to try and find another way of getting to you. But yeah, my videos are looking into the spiritual, the something other, the great mystery of it all. The things that I wonder about, the things I've wondered about since I was a kid. I definitely don't want to preach. If you learn something from this, then I guess I'm teaching. But yeah, I guess broadening worldviews, I think, is a key thing at the minute, and just trying to get us all on through the crazy bits of life, and as it is at the minute. And yeah, just generally put some love and light out into the world. And I've done a lot of study in the last 5 years and I continue to study all the time. And so, yeah, there's lots of surprising things that I've learned along the way that I wish to share here. Not in this video. Today, we're talking about choices. You know, we're coming up, we've just had, this comes out on Boxing Day and 2026 is fast approaching. And it's a time when you just can't help but start thinking of goals and reflecting back on this last year and thinking forward to next year and what maybe you want from your life, how you want to live your life. So yeah, I've been thinking about this and some things have come up really strongly for me. So some of these things, it might be teaching you to suck eggs, but what I do also find is when some people, you get into conversation sometimes and people say things, or you see a post or a friend sends you a post and you just think, yeah, I know that, but I haven't had that in my consciousness, in my presence. So yeah, a timely reminder. So hopefully maybe some of these will be timely reminders for you. Number one, these are in no particular order, but number one, community. I think as the reaction I see is that as the powers, especially in the UK, but it's not called the globalization for nothing, it's happening all over the place, and I see that people are just turning against that now. They're not wanting sort of one autonomous very much out of their control and unvoted power. That's definitely the route that we do not want to go down. I just don't think that anyone other than those elite that are trying to push this sort of forward, we're all on different ends of the scale on lots of different arguments, and I'm not entirely sure that there's anybody that I've met or heard from saying, yeah, let's do this. Let's completely homogenise everything and make us all digital based and surveillance based, and not being able to live our own lives in the way that we are God's creatures, just to live freely. Yeah, of course we need rules and morals and all the rest of it. It would just go to pot otherwise, wouldn't it? There'd be chaos. But I see chaos is starting to really boil over, especially say with the farmers and across Europe and the UK. They've been putting on some crazy tractor protests. And in this country, I'm so pleased to hear that, of course, they're trying to make out like Keir Starmer's the most amazing person ever, because he's decided that he's going to up the threshold for inheritance tax for farms from 1 million to 2.5 million, which goes some way to helping. I don't think that's enough, and it's certainly he had to. Well, you can't make out that he's an amazing man. I've been seeing some posts by American people, and there was one girl, and she was very astute. I can't remember what she was talking about. I think she was explaining about as Islamophobia and how, that the nonsense with that. And she said that literally Keir Starmer has to be the worst leader of a country in Europe, if not the world, at the minute. And you're like, crikey, they're looking out from the outside and seeing that. It's like, oh, okay. So yeah, community really is, we need to keep things very local, as things potentially are might get more erratic with food or finance or resources or whatever. Community is where it's at, and sticking local. And this can take a form in lots of different ways, and you might not be a person that socialises very much, but maybe you're somebody that just would go out and do litter picking in your area, or the council years ago, they used to come round and every ditch and manhole and like along the edges in towns, the weeds and things would be dug up, and things would just be made look nice. And I think there's a balance between everything looking unkempt and a bit messy and taking away natural habitats. We can grow and create more habitats and choose not to have patios and decking and all the rest of it, and make sure that we're putting in lots of plants and grass areas. There's a lot going on in soil and grass, and people are ripping up a lot of their gardens. So taking a pride in your thing, joining a community group, and anything is possible. Years ago, I set up an arts and culture festival because I was in a town where I could see lots of creative talent. I could see lots of venues, potential places for exhibitions and events in hotels and pubs and community centres and all kinds of spaces and cafes and things. And I could see that there were lots of people that would enjoy an event like that, and it brings the communities together. So it was 8 disciplines of art across 8 days, and the intention was to keep all the events for free. If there was some materials to play, like if you did glass fusing or something a bit more expensive like that, then people put in the donation or a small fee, nominal fee, to cover materials. And everyone pulled together, and I got a committee together, and local council got involved, and yeah, it was really good, and it went on for a few years, and that's quite a big thing. I know an even bigger thing. There's John Baboyan, St Julian Baboyama, and he's in Tanzania, and he was called by God. He didn't know why he was sent to Tanzania, but he went there. He now has two of, well, I think it's the world's, if not definitely Africa's largest children's centre, where he has children, especially ones with learning difficulties and disabilities, and certain medical care needs, and orphans, and a whole load of dogs as well, rescues dogs too. And this place is vast. It's amazing what he does, what he's achieved, and those in his team. And I'm not saying shoot for the stars, but I'm saying anything is possible. You do something within your limit. There was a thing on I watched on the Dallas community. It was originally a church group. I think it's got a bit bigger than that, or maybe it is still church based. But they have decided, so Dallas government, or the wider, maybe it was the central government, but basically homelessness was made illegal. So which is just a ludicrous thing. They were picking homeless up, giving them a criminal record, or they were going to jail, or whatever was happening, fining them, and then they would just be back straight into their the situation again, because they couldn't magically, in the situation they were in, get home. So anyway, this group, they just do fantastic stuff. They're literally rehoming these people. If you, I have to probably put the video up on here. And at the beginning, the woman said, she goes, we need this, we need this, we need this resources, and we need the will to do it. And that's the thing. I think we've all got a bit cozy, we've all got a bit lazy, and get that will. Choose to have that will in your life to start community things, no matter how big or small. Shop locally. Support events that are going on locally, support your local businesses as much as possible. And do things, be neighbourly, do things for your neighbour, volunteer with things, especially if you've got loneliness or mental health or something like that. Get out in life. Get out in life, and there's lots of things around you. They'll all be going on. Go and ask at your local church. Go and ask at your local library. Look on notice boards. There's going to be lots out there to get involved with, and it would really benefit you and others and the world to be giving that out. And into the wider world as well, our world community. Some of you will go further than that, out into our cosmos community. Prayer is a big thing. Science has proven it to. They've done big studies in America. One lady doing the studies did a lot of lectures on it, and they proved that those that were prayed over recovered from heart attacks and operations and things and illnesses a lot quicker. Overall cure, as opposed to those that didn't survive or whatever the illness. Big studies have been done, and it's proven prayer to work. And be it prayer or meditation, meditating on sending love and peace out into the world, or living in a world of peace, that there's also been studies done with people when particular, I don't know whether there were riots going on in places, and other things where it's been on the brink of war or civil war, and mass groups have come together to meditate, and that has shown to change the path for the better, for a positive outcome. So yeah, trust wholly in it. You may feel like you're just a little old you on your own doing that, but there's groups where they meet at 7. Well, they don't meet online. You just know that at 7 o'clock on a Sunday evening, London time, they're around the world, there's different ones, you will be meditating with millions of other people. So yeah, look out for those. That sort of thing, trust in that sort of thing. It does have the power, definitely. Choose to be a good communicator. Now this is speaking, internal thought and language, and as well as listening. In fact, listening, 2 ears, 1 mouth, people. There's a reason for that. I do see I'm watching stuff all the time, and I do see this whole thing of the far left people. I'm sure there are some that you would think of as far left that actually wouldn't even consider themselves to be far left, in the same way that people that are being called far right are being called far right. I think there is a difference with the far right thing, because the far left and the left are saying that, anyone that questions anything that seems remotely practical or actual truth and fact, if it's a truth and fact about a subject that they don't like, or the side of the argument that they won't accept, they're not accepting, then it gets dismissed or shut down, be that up at high level or in these videos where I'm seeing these conversations things, and there's no listening going on. So a typical conversation is in one of these, say in a short I've watched recently, this lady is asking this guy why he's protesting. This is in London, and he comes out with some stuff that she's just like, well, that's incorrect, and this isn't right, and it just goes on, like, he just gets more and more wound up and not able to explain himself and can't really justify or back up the reason. It's just like, it doesn't work. So he gets and then she's just like, oh, I mean, where does she go with it? And then he walks off and she goes, well, that's the problem, isn't it? When you don't like something, you're not prepared to listen and have an exchange. And this is the thing. In whatever situation, the listening is really important. Listening is the key thing. Oh, I can be rubbish at it. I can be very distracted and my head be somewhere else. I think it's something definitely we could all really improve on. And everything is about communication. I think communication as well is the things that we're afraid to communicate. Just try and have those awkward conversations, make amends with people. As for speaking, choose your words carefully. I've watched a really interesting, I've watched similar before, I've watched a really interesting thing recently about the power of words and why we call it spelling, because spelling words, you are writing spells with words. And when you think of the work of, now what's he called? I never remember his name. The Japanese doctor, somebody, and he does he speaks words into water and then he freezes it, and the ones like the word hate is really distorted and disfigured, and then the one for love is like this beautiful sort of snowflake crystally thing. And that shows. And then like in the book of John and in Genesis, when it's talking about and God said the word, and the word, he created word. He created the world, which is interesting because it's only one other letter. He created the world through the word, and everything came into being. And there's a bit of theology behind that, which I haven't got time to go into. But there is the power of the words. Thinking in terms of what you want to create in your life. We all create our own realities. So being mindful of that, and being mindful of the fact that what you say out to people, and we're 60-70% water, and what Dr. Yamamoto, I can't remember his name, you have to remember the physical evidence of what happened to that water when he said hate and when he said love. And that's, there's a lot to be learnt from that. It's also your self-talk. Being really careful about what you're saying to yourself, the language you're using. Really try to catch yourself when you're being negative or calling yourself a crappy name. Or I do it jokingly with myself. Again, I'm not sure that apparently your body doesn't know any different between, when you're joking and you're not joking. Yeah, my friend, she teaches neuro-linguistic programming. If you want a bit of help with that, get in touch and I will send you to her. She's amazing, beautiful lady. And she teaches all about our self-talk, and it's been, mindful of that. And I bumped into the wife of my Qigong teacher the other day, and I said, oh, such and such, and I'm trying to do it. And she said, no, don't say trying, you're doing it. it's being careful about the words, because it's what you're sending out into the universe. Trying suggests that you're giving it a go, but you might fail. You might believing that you possibly could fail, instead of like outright success, going for it, going to smash it out of the park. Because of frequency and resonance, and this is again all proven by physics, yeah, there is a power. There's a transmitting and a receiving going on between us and the cosmos or spirit or whatever it is, the life force, the what is it called? I never remember the name of the thingy web. not the World Wide Web. Oh God, what is it called? Not integral web. Oh, it's a physics thing. Anyway, I might find it later and put it in here. If I haven't, then I'm sure you know what I mean. God, I can't think what it's called. Anyway, yeah, so physics has shown us that we are creating our universe, collapsing waves of possibility, and we are influencing that with our thought, definitely with intention, because the universe, this spirit, this life force, this web, it feels everything. It's very much going by our feelings. So yeah, be careful what you put out there, people. 3. So number 3, consumption. We as a species have become the most chronic consumers of everything that the planet has to offer. And yeah, I don't see that ending anytime soon, but I would urge you to make choices about, do you really need to buy that thing? Do you really need to change all your decor in your room again? Do you really need to purchase loads more clothes and just stuff? Choosing to buy things that, let's say with clothing, is choosing to buy stuff that lasts a bit longer and being careful about your choices. And it's choosing to buy local. So with our food, it's really important to, again, try and support local growers, local farms, farm shops. And you might think that they're ridiculously expensive. What I found was, when I had very little money, is when I went to the farm shop, I got the basic food that we needed. I bought a better quality of food for not much more money, and I could buy what I wanted. I could ask them for just this and that. They were a lot more accommodating than a supermarket in terms of the amounts of things I needed. And also, I wasn't sucked into buying loads of stuff that I'm just wandering down the aisles and I'm shopping when I'm hungry and I'm buying loads of crap. And also, maybe if you're going to shop, maybe shop online for sort of Whole Foods and I'm trying to think what they're called. They do a really good, like, all your veggie stuff and oils and different things, as well as fresh produce. Years ago, you know, we all had different shops. You had the butchers, the bakers, and there was the veg man, and you went to all the little shops and you did your little bits. And yeah, it just seemed like you were supporting more businesses. And yeah, the supermarkets weren't quite what they are now. Again, we're all a bit spoiled, aren't we? We like this particular this and that. It's also difficult if you are dairy-free or gluten-free, because generally supermarkets are, yeah, they're stocking a lot more things like that, and we don't all have time to bake bread and all the rest of it. So I understand it's difficult, but yeah, just try and make a few more choices to shop locally. And the big one is Amazon. There are videos on here at the minute. Again, I'll put the guys down there with a video, because I don't know why he's popping up on my thing, but he's popping up and he's talking about things with Amazon, and it's creating a lot bigger issues that will affect us in the future, potentially, in a far deep way. And again, he's saying in one why it's good to shop local and support those people. We just need to, if we end up with nothing around us locally and we end up in supply situations where we need local, well, we're all going to be up shit creek without a paddle. So I think it's time. I'm not trying to say we're going to have some major apocalypse or whatever, but yeah, look around you, see what you think is going on, and see how you might need to be prepared for that. without being doomsday at all. If we're all ready for something, then yeah. I don't know that I'm a prepper, in the sense that they're making preppers out to be these weird people that, yeah, just weird. I don't. I think there's an element of common sense at the minute to just provide for yourself. And a big part of that is stay local, support your local amenities and businesses. Number 4, be informed. There's a lot of stuff flying, especially with social media and YouTube these days. There's a lot of stuff flying around, be it in the spiritual sense or in what's going on in politics and wars and protests and all the rest of it. And I think I hear a lot of stuff. Again, I'm seeing people on this side of the argument very much so, or on this side of the argument very much so. And I think that these things that, like what's going on with freedom of speech, what the government in the UK, legislation and things that they're passing at the minute, and deals that they're doing with other countries and things for trade, and say the issues, people wading in with the Israeli-Palestine thing. There's a lot of stuff, big issue stuff going on. The Palestine-Israel thing, say, I can really see why people in Britain with their Christian values, which is whether they would consider themselves Christian, they probably do, a lot of them don't go to church, but they can't help but have been raised for generations in a country that is, based on Christian values, rooted in that faith. And of course, when they see all the stuff on the news, children being blown up and all the rest of it, obviously there's going to be those, like my dear friend, she went to protest in London, and because of something that was written on the board that they were all given to hold, she was arrested as a domestic terrorist. She was sat with doctors and nurses and teachers and all sorts of retired older people, a lot of them, and just a ridiculous, farcical thing, the way the powers that be dealt with that and other protests. But it's ludicrous to think that to even bother to name those people as domestic terrorists. It's just ridiculous. But equally, the reasons that they're going for are completely valid on the face of it, but I don't know. I don't need to pick a side. I don't feel the need to pick a side. But I've watched some presentations and talks and things, people that are really in the know, people that have lived there because they're born there, or lived there because they've been there a long time, because they're journalists or they're aid workers, or they're all kinds of sides and jobs. And it's such a different culture over there to ours, and the way that things are dealt with and potentially possibly need to be dealt with, and it goes against our very core of loving everyone and not killing children and innocent people and all the rest of it. But that's a wholly difficult, very complex situation over there, that if we're taking what we're being shown on the standard mainstream media, we're not having everything quite fully explained to us, I don't think. Especially when you get MPs on, doesn't matter what they're talking about. They never really just speak to you as an adult human being and give you the crux of it, do they? Or the bare bones of it. It's always got some agenda behind it and some flannel, and they don't want to look bad, and they're going for the votes rather than doing, well, if they actually did the sensible, honest, decent thing in life and did their decisions, then I think everyone just would vote for them, because you'd be bloody decent. I don't understand how they don't get that. Oh well, this is the way of it. Yeah, be informed. I just think anyway, I'm not somebody that goes and gets wading into arguments and things. I try and start conversations with people sometimes, and it's interesting because they shut down and they don't really want to speak, and you think, oh, that's interesting. It's almost like a hot topic. So there are some hot topics and people don't even want to discuss it. And that's interesting. Then I go say it's at other people's houses and you can have a really decent conversation. And a decent conversation is when you actually, a really decent conversation is when you can be on either ends of the sides and really you're just talking it through. You're not having an argument. You don't need to start getting mad with people. But I always find there's something to be learnt from that other person, even if you don't agree. They might tell you about an article that they've just read or something that they've seen, and it's something you use and you weren't aware of, and you think, oh right, yeah, God, I didn't know that. Okay, well, yeah, I always try and take a broader worldview. That's a good thing to choose. Take a broader worldview. Don't be plumping down on either side. Yeah, there's a lot of situations that are very complex. There are some basic things that, government should just be doing, but maybe we can't even underestimate that. I think actually just a lot of corrupt people push an agenda that people don't want. And this has been happening across Europe. And again, I saw a program yesterday on YouTube, and it was about how there are 10 countries and they're just changing their mindset on things like, especially immigration, and also that they're having far more conservative type governments. That's the upsurge in the voting in a main bloc of Europe. They've had enough, and they don't want what's been going on. They're pushing against it. I think part of being informed is we won't have a vote in this country for a while, I don't think, unless something exciting happens. But I really think everyone needs to vote. Everyone needs to vote. No more of this apathy. And if it's not voting, it's protesting in some way or signing government petitions where they are going to raise a debate about, say, like there was a big one recently about no to digital ID being compulsory or at all, I think, actually. Have your say on things. You don't need to step up and start making controversial YouTube or TikTok clips or whatever. That's not for everyone. But yeah, show your support in ways. Join the political party that you think is the way to go. Join the Free Speech Union. You might never use it, but it's something, if you're concerned about free speech, that's something that would be advisable to do, because it does show those making policy numbers. And I think we need to start showing up, choose to show up. This list is adding on A, B and C to each point now. But yeah, choose to show up for your community, show up for your neighbours and whatever your form of community is, or going to find one, being out in your local area doing something. Show up for your family, yeah, definitely, and your friends. And show up when people need to stand together on something that's just not right. There's lots of things that we can see at the minute, they're just not right. Some of them, like the Israeli-Palestine thing, that's a lot more complicated. That's tricky. I still think maybe it's right to go and show your support for something. Yeah, no, that's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. But things in this country like fighting for our farmers' rights, fighting for old people's heating bill rights, fighting for less taxes, fighting for fairness and justice, fighting for our freedom not to be taken away. I think, yeah, we need to start stepping up. And I think maybe that's a way you can serve your local and your wider community, is if there's I was thinking about this, not everyone, all the big protests are in London. But then I imagine if on the same day and the same time, be it in villages, towns and cities, all around with social media, and you're all using one hashtag and you show the protests that you're doing in your area that's linked to that one, say, that's on a day in London. How fantastic would that be? I think we really need to start showing up in that way. We're getting pushed around, and I'm not entirely sure that's a good thing. And I think about Jesus as well. He didn't stand for any crap, did he? When he didn't want the temples to be places that was all about changing money and selling birds and things for sacrifice, he wasn't happy about the animal sacrifices, and he wasn't happy about his father's house being used in that way. Joof, in he went, caused a scene, proper did. So, yeah, being Christian is not all about being just lovely, lovely. None of us necessarily want to be lawbreakers. They keep making laws about protesting and stuff. It's really hard to not break the law these days. There's so bloody many of them. Oh well. So my next one, is be courageous. And showing up, that takes courage. I don't think of it as bravery. My beautiful teacher, Anna Ben, she said, no, don't say brave. Again, it comes to words and what you're communicating to yourself and the cosmos. Don't say bravery, because that I'm going to be brave, because that comes from a place of like, oh, there's something to be a bit scared of. I've got to be brave. Whereas if you live more fearlessly and you're courageous, that's not to say that there's a little bit of scared going on, but be courageous. Go from the heart and act from that loving place and with strength and conviction, and not being wishy-washy. Caveat to that: be informed. Don't go shooting off, being ill-informed or misinformed. Be careful. Look at a broad range of information and be careful. This is relevant to some circumstances like protesting. But yeah, go be courageous. Choose courage this year. I'm not even sure what number we're on at this point. But my last one is just be kind. Be kind to yourself and others. It can sound a bit lame these days, I think, because it's a bit like that live, love, laugh. Oh, be kind. Obviously be bloody kind. Crikey, this is what makes the world go round. We've got to be nice to each other. But we've got to be really gentle with ourselves. I'm doing it all the time. It's self-talk again, without awareness. Being aware as well. Choose awareness. Be aware of yourself, your thoughts, your actions. Be self-reflective. I'm not talking about sitting there, I'm not entirely sure navel gazing is a good thing. I don't necessarily think that going over, sometimes it can be a needed release. Times and events can show you sometimes if you need to go over something from the past that keeps arising and it needs to be dealt with and healed. But I think sitting around ruminating over old worries and problems constantly and letting that be a source of thing constantly consuming your day and filling your day with me, that is not helping anyone. Being kind to the planet as well. God knows Mother Earth needs a bit of that. Go and sing to nature. Go and leave little offerings for fairies. Go and pick up litter. Go and plant nice things in places in your local community. Don't think that that's someone else's job. I don't mean in the national parks and gardens and the area parks and gardens, because it's probably going to be some gardener that's got something to say about that. But yeah, people are making little green spaces and knitting crochet things that go on the tops of letterboxes. I love them. God, doesn't it bring a bit of cheer to people? Maybe that's something you could do for your community and to be kind. Yeah, just having that awareness. You can see people. We're no good helping everybody or trying to. God knows I try and help everybody, and sometimes it's their stuff and they need to deal with it. Or they need to, but being kind is when it is a choice. It's a choice to love, and it's a choice to be kind, and that definitely requires awareness, as well as loving heart and generosity and compassion. Yeah, we could all do with being a lot kinder to everybody. So whilst I think that 2026 everything's always changing. That's a given. But maybe there's going to be, on an individual level and group mass level, there'll be some challenging times ahead. I'm not entirely sure when there aren't challenging times ahead at the minute, but it's a case of being ready for that, being in a good place yourself, giving out positivity and kindness into the world, as well as remembering that you create your own reality. And if we're all trying to be kind to each other and give out love and not come from a place of fear and be steady in ourselves, we're going to meet things with a lot more resilience if they do come up. And we also maybe will be able to navigate things more carefully and easily because we are changing our reality to make things come out on top. Love always wins. Light always wins against dark. And it can seem like there's some really scary stuff going on. There is scary stuff going on in the world. There's no two ways about it. But there are people in all kinds of areas doing great things. In the last few months, I've met people that have started a community sort of little farm thing, and with growers and charcoal burner and this and that. And I've heard about people that on a smaller level, they've made up these Christmas stockings and they're taking them to homeless people full of toiletries. A couple Christmases ago, I was involved in with the local vicar and his wife and another young girl, and the vicar fundraised from local businesses, and we were doing Christmas meals for the kids that get their school dinners paid for at primary school. So there's all kinds of things going on, projects and things for the environment, for health, for political change, so much going on, and that we can trust in that. But equally, more people need to get on board. More people need to stand up and be counted, or stand up and help with something, and or create something, start something, not be sitting back anymore. This is the time to start, joining in some way that can really make a difference. So if you're going to choose anything, choose love for 2026. And from that flows however many other points I've put in here, because it's like so many things. It's all interconnected. Glad tidings to all of you. Thank you for watching, and thank you to my subscribers. Those of you who haven't subscribed, please do. And peace be with you.
Well, hello, my name is Sister Immaculata Hilaria. If there's two things I love, number one, it's Mary, and number two is singing for Jesus. And if there's no better time to do that than at Christmas, wouldn't you say? I haven't got an alien bug on my chest. It's the microphone. I can't switch the green light off. So anyway, let's get singing. I've chosen my favourite carol. I'm going to light my pink Advent candle for the good lady herself. Okay now. Oh, I need me words. I don't know them. I'll just find them. Hang on. I know. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Here we go. I have them. This is such a great song. The angel Gabriel from heaven came. His wings as drifted snow, his eyes as flame. All hail, said he, the lowly maiden Mary, most highly flavoured lady, Gloria. Pardon me.
people. Keep smiling. Choose love.